So, guys, we talked about. Can you still see my screen?
See your screen.
Okay.
We can see your
You can't see what?
screen. We can see your screen. I don't know if it's from my end, but I can see your screen.
I can't see your screen.
I see it now. Another person should check. Another person should check.
Yes.
I can see it, Mama. I can see yes, Mama.
Okay. So I wanted to make it full. But can you see my full screen?
Yes.
Is it moving? Can you see it moving as full screen
Yes.
on your end?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Okay. So let's start. So we talked last week. We talked about when we started UI UX, we said in the actual sense UX comes before the UI. These are the things being done at the back. I use the word backyard. Things that you do at the backyard of web building an app. So if you want to build a house, these are the things that you need to do: laying foundation, molding blocks, those things before adding the final touches, painting, choice of color, choice of window, choice of door, choice of furnitures and all those things are the UI parts. So all these things are things that we need to do at the back, and then some of us actually create some questions, but their question does not in line with getting to understand your user. So most of them, their question were like, how did you navigate checking out on this app? That's the kind of question they were asking. Did you encounter any bug, any blockage while interacting with this app? So those questions that some persons actually asked that I dropped comments were like questions that you ask at the end of building your product. These are questions that falls under the usability testing, not understanding your user. Understanding your user are questions that you get to ask your user, trying to understand them related to food app, and that will now generate user personas. But when some of us were creating the user personas, who are your user? They were using their own information, which is wrong. The reason why I'm saying is wrong is because designers, we don't work on assumption and we don't use ourselves, even though we are the users. But in the real sense, it is always good for you to work with real users, get their information, not your own information. The first user persona you're using yourself, second user persona is you're using yourself. Same goal, same pain point. I understand that you're a user, but we want to work with real user because this is a product that we are building for the users. Okay, so you guys did well for the empathy map. What your users say, think, feel, and do are okay. Some people we are saying some people added some which were not related to that class. I know it is the advanced part you are trying to tell me. I understand, but I wanted you to first of all understand what is being taught in class before moving ahead. You need to climb on stage 1 before moving to stage 2. So people we are writing what the others this thing in what they say, what they do, like they were mixing it up, the emotions and all. But that is not what I wanted you guys to do. I wanted you guys to follow the beginner pattern very well. Some of us actually got their information from ChatGPT, which was very obvious, and they were using dollar. But we based in Nigeria, what you could have used was just naira instead of dollar. So some person was telling you buy food $200 to $300. If you convert that now in naira, you can tell that, are you telling me that I'm buying food I'm just going to eat in one city for 300 to 400,000 naira? You get. But nevertheless, you guys did well. I'm so impressed. So today we are going to talk about user journey map and flow charts. So when you are building a food app, you understand your users. You understand your user in the aspect of interviewing question, qualitative and quantitative analysis. The next thing you're going to do is create a user persona using the information of your users. So once you do that, you create an empathy map for them. So now user journey is like you understand that your users, you know their needs and pain points. Now the next thing you're going to do is for you to move to the user journey map, how your user is going to use this product, the opportunities, their expectations, their pain points, what are they going to do, the actions they are going to take. That is what user journey map is. And then for flowchart, it's like a roadmap of your product. So that is what we are going to talk today. Now, this is what a user journey map look like. This is what a user journey map look like. Your user step, their actions, their goals and expectations, their feelings, pain points, and opportunity. This is what user journey map look like. And then this is what a flow chart look like. A flow chart is like a roadmap of how your user is going to use that product that you are trying to build. For example, how your user is going to navigate through food app, through Kemi food app delivery. So that is what a flowchart look like. And then user journey map is just like a step, the actions, the goals, feelings, pain points, and opportunities for the users. Now let's start with user journey map. User journey map comes first. Let's start with user journey map. A user journey map is a visual tool that helps designers understand the experience of a user. And
Yes, Kidima.
can you hear me?
Hello, I think you haven't started the recording. Yes.
After the
I
recording,
said,
you guys are
did you start recording?
You guys are talking in the recording.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, okay.
Please mute, we are teaching. A user journey map is a visual tool that helps designers understand the experience. So let's talk about user journey map. A user journey map is a visual tool that helps designers understand the experience of a user as they interact with a product. It tells the story of a user journey from the first moment they engage with a product to completing a goals, highlighting their action, emotions, pain points, and opportunities for improvement along the way. So that is what a user journey map is. It's just like engaging them with your products from their goals, their actions, their emotion, their pain points, and opportunities that you want to implement for them along the way. Imagine a user is trying to order a food from an app. What step do the user take? How do they feel on each stage? Are there moments of frustration or delight? A user journey map captures all this in details in a structured way, making it easier to identify areas where the experience can be improved. By mapping out the user journey, we gain valuable insights into what works well and what needs fixing. This helps designers, developers, and teams create better, more friendly products. Whether improving a website, app, or services, user journey map ensures that the user stays at the heart of every decision taken. Now, you can see the reason why I don't agree with beginners, especially beginner designers, using their information on the user personas. That's why I said use a reuser, because if you're using your information in the user personas, I will assume that the questions that you asked yourself. That is what I will assume. So most time I see them using designers using their information, I will just assume that. So this question now you carry out because you asked yourself this question. You didn't even ask users. You get? So you are supposed to carry your users along the way while you are building the product. You're not just building the product because yes, it's me that want to use it. No, I know you are a user, but you need to interact with other users, not one, not two, not three, at least 5 and above. 5 persons and above the number. Get? Now, why is user journey map important? Why is it important? User journey mapping, you can call it user journey map, you can call it user journey mapping, anyone. Now, user journey mapping is essential because it helps designers and stakeholders understand how users experience a product. It provides variable insight that leads to a better decision making and improve user experience. Now, the key reason we have one, enhance user experience. It helps identify pain points and frustration areas in the user journey. Designers can optimize the experience to make it smoother and more enjoyable. Now, imagine something that I have told you about a pain point I'm experiencing, not the UI. I'm talking about based on the UX. And you as a designer, you can make that frustration and pain points a goal and make it enjoyable. Now, number 2, it identifies gaps and opportunity. It highlights moments where users struggle or drop off. Now, imagine you're using a product. You're trying to make payments for a food. You've add to cart. You've signed up. You select the kind of meal you want. You've add to cart, and then it is time for you to check out. Because I have trust issues of linking my card on a platform, you did not provide for me. Either I can fund my wallet by bank transfer or make payment by bank transfer. You just made it compulsory. It is card that you must use, and I have trust issue. I will drop off. I will say, these people, this one, they say card is compulsory. I don't trust you guys, so I will drop off. I will use it. But because you've provided for people that doesn't have trust issue and people that have trust issue, you can pay with card, you can pay with bank transfer. So what about a situation? Yes, I have card, but I have trust issues. That is one user. Another user too will tell you, I don't have trust issues. Oh, that one is not a problem, but I don't have a card. So are you telling me that I will have to go and request for a card in my bank before I can pay for this food? Imagine a user that will imagine that stress of going to the bank requesting for debit card, and then I'll now have to link it up, and you cut 100 naira for linking it. There are some app that when you link it, they'll cut 100 naira to be sure that the card is actually active. Then imagine that kind of user. The user will drop off. I can't go through this stress. I can't go through the stress of getting a bank card, and then I'll come and no. Imagine a user will tell you, I can't go through that stress. And it will make the user to struggle or drop off. Now, business can find opportunity to improve businesses can find opportunities to improve or introduce new features. For example, feature 1 is, let's assume that we don't have a wallet system in the food app. I'm using Kemi food app, for example. We don't have wallet system in Kemi's food app. So she already have this ability of you pay one-time payments. But now if she implements a new feature where maybe I am on a discount, or maybe refund, or maybe I want to be saving like 100 naira in my wallet. I want to be adding like 100 naira, or maybe she has a feature where if you refer 10 person, you get 1,000 naira, something like that. Now, where will those money go to? Those money will now bounce into her wallet. And when she wants to make payment for food, they will just take the money from her wallet. She doesn't need to link her card or make bank transfer. They will just take the money from her wallet. Now, you can see that her business have actually find opportunity to improve or introduce, to introduce new feature. It's also a way of improving the payment system but she has also introduced new feature. Refer 10 persons and earn 1,000 naira. Where will the money go? To her wallet. I don't have 5,000 naira to buy food. Na. I can be saving 1,000 naira, 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira. When the money is complete, maybe I am in a time of emergency where I don't have money in my local bank. I am hungry. I am tired. I already have money saved in my wallet. I will just use the money and just buy food one time. You can see that she has introduced new feature and she has already improved on her payment system. Now, another importance of user journey mapping is align teams and stakeholders. A user journey map creates a shared understanding among users, developers, and business teams. So if you see this one thing about this mapping is it's like an understanding for everybody in that team. Also, everyone work with a common goals and making the experience better. Now, the next one we have is it improves customers' satisfaction. You don't want to frustrate your users. You don't want your user to drop off on the project. Imagine you went to your database and you are checking number of sign-ups users. You have over 1,000 sign-up users. People that sign up on your app, 1,000 persons. People that are active, 5 active users. Where are the 950 persons? They are inactive. Because of what? You did not implement maybe that bank transfer feature. You want all your users to pass through card payments. I don't have a card. Doesn't mean that I can't make bank transfer. I don't trust these people. Why are they making only card compulsory? I'm not going to buy, and they will drop off. You get? But with user journey map, you help to improve your customer satisfaction. By addressing pain points, businesses can increase user happiness and loyalty. Another smoother experience leads to a better retention and customers' trust. I have trust issue adding my card details on a bank, on a let's say on an app, but because you provided for bank transfer, I don't have issues. It's something that once you make the transfer, just wait for like 3 to 5 minutes to be sure that this account or this receiver has gotten your alert, and then you click I have sent the money. You will now see something that will load, that I will now tell you, please wait, let's confirm your payment. To just load for like 3 to 5 minutes. And then to show you check mark, your payment has been received. We are sending you a rider. Here is your code number, something like that. You build trust for your user. Like the experience is now very, very smoother and user friendly. Now, another one, it helps you reduce cost and increase efficiency. We talked about this when we are discussing importance of user experience, user research method. It's something that you need to fix at the tender age. Instead of ignoring it when you are done building the project, you now have to go back to number one, square one, after spending so amount of money, so amount of time and energy. It helps you tackle problem before development. It's something that you need to tackle during your early stage of research. Even before you will now start creating your flow charts, you will now start creating, your UI designs. Now, the last one, it helps personalize the experience. It helps you understand your users' emotion and behavior, allows them for more tailored experience. Then businesses can design solutions that truly meet users' needs. Number one, I want to filter the kind of food I want. Maybe you have jollof rice that you use Ajinomoto to cook. Ajinomoto is not good for my body system. I should be able to filter food you cook or you prepared or that's available on the app that they didn't use Ajinomoto to cook. I'm just giving a layman's understanding. I should be able to filter that. I should be able to filter this from this. That is one thing a user loves. There are some persons that tell you, I don't eat jollof rice, I eat fried rice. Some person will tell you, I should be able to filter this. I don't eat chicken, but I eat turkey. They should be able to filter this from this. You're creating a solution that meets all your users' needs. Okay, now let's move to the next one. Now, what are the key parts of building a user journey map? We've talked about one in the previous, which is the user personas. Here is like the tropical represents your users going through the journey. That's why I said don't use yourself, use a real user. The next one is include their name, background, goals, and challenges. You can call it challenges, you can call it frustration, you can call it pain points. That is the key part of a user journey. The key part number one is user personas. I believe you understood what is user personas. Are you guys with me? Okay, so let's move to the next stage. The next one is stages and phase. Stages or phase. You can call it stage. I do call it stages, but sometimes some designer will tell you phase, but you can use stages. So another key part of a user journey is the stage. Now, what are the stages that they need? Some awareness, concentration, and purchase. But now, I'm not going to use this example I listed here. I'm going to use what I use on the user journey map. We have search. We have select. We have checkout or purchase. And then we have delivery. Search. You search for a restaurant. Selecting. You select your food. You make payments and the food is delivered to you. That is like the main stage of what your user is going to pass through a food app. Search, select, pay, and delivery. That is the stage from the start to the finish. Then what are the actions? The next key part is the actions. What are the actions that your user do at every stage? At the stage of searching, what did they do? Selecting, what did they do? Paying or purchasing, what did they do? Delivering, what did they do? Now, I use an example. I said search for a product, add to cart, and make payments. So user action is what actions do they do at every stage or phase? That is the key part of user journey. Number one, we have the user personas, which we already talked about in the previous class. Then the next one we have is the stages. The stages from the start to finish. Search, select, pay, and delivery. I'm just giving you an example. I don't want to use this one I use. I'm giving you an example. Then user action is what action do they do on every stage? Then we have goals and expectation. What do your user hope to achieve on every stage? What do they hope to achieve if they are finding or searching for a restaurant or searching for a mobile app? What do they hope to gain? Or what do they hope to achieve when they are selecting their food? What do your user hope when making payments? Now, for example, I said, I want to quickly find an affordable meal. So what do your user hope to achieve at every stage? Now, the next one we have is thoughts and feeling. How do they feel at every stage? Searching for an app that says affordable meal. I'm happy, very, very happy. Selecting, I'm confused. So I can't select food that they did not cook with Ajinomoto. So I can't select food that they cook with ginger and garlic. I'm confused. Making payments, I feel frustrated because you guys are not adding bank transfer. You are saying I must make payments with my card. Card is compulsory. Frustrated. So after being happy that I've seen an app I'm going to use, so I will not be confused and now I'm not frustrated. It helps identify moments of delight and frustration. So the next key point about thoughts and emotion is just how your user feel on every stage. Then the next one we have is the pain points. What are the problems or obstacles that your user face during their journey? Then the next one now is now related to you. What opportunities are you trying to improve for them? You just want to give them that, just want to simplify the checkout process. Give them card or bank transfer. You can say, okay, before they can, add this food to cart, they should be able to, go through it to see all the listed ingredients used in preparing this food. If it's something that they are okay with it, they can add to cart. If it's something they are not okay with it, just leave them. They can go and look for the one they are okay with. You can see that the way I've explained this user journey map, you can see that in the real sense, you start understanding why this user journey map is very important. And you can see the reason why I said when you're creating your user personas, you're not supposed to use your name, your information, yourself. Now, let's summarize it. Key parts of a user journey map or user journey mapping is number one, user personas. Who is the user? Kemi Akende is the user. What does Kemi want to achieve on every stage? Phase. What step does she want to take? Action. What do they do? What does she do at every stage or every step? Her feelings. How does she feel on every step she's taking? Pain points. What frustrates her? Opportunities. How can I help as a designer? You can see that the key part, this is where it falls in. Now, let's take a look at this picture. Let's take a look at, okay, let me take you to Figma where I can zoom in. So if you have question, ask question before we continue. If you have question related to user journey map, just let me know before we continue. So let's look at this user journey map diagram I did on FigJam. Let me show you. Let me zoom in so that you see it very well. Now, this is a user journey map. So I'm going to use this. Now, this is a user journey map. So if you come on that FigJam file, you will see it. Come to on that FigJam file on page 2. You will see it. So now let's look at this let's look at this user journey map. Now, these are the steps. So here now is like, these are the steps. The steps is searching, selecting, ordering, and receiving, which is like paying and then delivering. Then the actions. What are the actions that this user will take when it comes to searching? What are the actions that, I'm using Kemi for example, what are the actions that Kemi is going to take when she's searching? What are the goals does she expect? What is her feelings? What is her pain points? And what are the opportunities that we can add? Now, let me use Kemi for example. Kemi is my user. Now, when it comes to step, Kemi will search for restaurants that sells good food and they are fast delivery. That's you order by 10 o'clock sharp, 10:15 max, your food is at your doorstep. Now, what she's going to do is she's going to find a restaurant with good food and fast delivery. This is searching. So I've searched online. Now, that is the action she's going to take. Now, her goals and expectation is to look for restaurants online because she's working from home. She doesn't have energy, or she doesn't have energy to go to the market, and she's very hungry. What she do, she will just pick her phone and then look for restaurants online. Now, she has seen a restaurant online. She's excited. Finally. And then her pinpoint is there are too many options. She's seen Kilimanjaro, she's seen Crunchies, she's seen Chicken Republic, she's seen The Promise, she's seen this one, she's seen this one. And she's confused. There are so many options, but now she's confused. Now, she can't be going to look for their rating one by one. It's going to be, overwhelming and confusing for her. So her pain point is at that point of searching for restaurants online is there are too many options for her and she don't know which one to choose. So the opportunities that we can ask for and give to her as a designer, that I can give to her as a designer, is to add a filter button and a recommendation. Let's say on the app, you come on the app, what you will just see is most popular restaurants. She just click on it and then she will see the top 10 at the front and then the other one at the down. Or she can just go to her filters and filter most popular restaurants or most popular. And then all the most popular restaurants will just come up for her. Instead of when she just come on the app, she just seen thousands of restaurants all over the homepage. She will be confused. That is her pain point. Then her next pain point when it comes to selecting. Now she has chosen a meal that fits her budget. Let's say, for example, she has 2,500 to buy food for herself and 1,500 for delivery, which is total of 4,000 naira, for example. What she's just going to do is now, the action she's going to take is she's going to pick a meal that suits her budget. What is her goal and expectation? Picks a meal. Now, her feeling at that moment, she's confused. She's confused because I have budget of 2,500, and now I'm seeing 3,500, 3,000, 2,700, this, that. Everything is just too much for her. And then the list she's seeing, okay, she's now seeing her budget is 2,500, but she's not seeing the one of 2,780, and now she's not seeing any review from this food. So the opportunities I can help her as a designer to my user is I'm going to show the prices and I'm going to add user rating. For example, I have 2,500 and I'm seeing food of 2,800, 2,700. If I click on it, I should be able to see well-detailed price and also user rating. Don't buy this food, oh, the garlic is too much. Don't buy this food, oh, the pepper is too much. Oh, I love this meal, it's enjoyable. I would love to order more next time. You will get bad and good reviews or rating. 5-star, 2-star, 1-star. If there's 4.5, something like that. That is the opportunity I want to improve for her. So that if she ordered the food and after eating, she can come back to the app and then, her own review or drop her own, rating. Now, let's move to ordering. Now, check what are the actions that she needs to take. Now, the action she needs to take is to check out easily and quickly. She's hungry, very, very hungry. And then at the end of the day, her goals is just to add to cart and then check out. I add to cart and then I should check out. But now I'm feeling frustrated because you are asking extra fee and the process is too long. Let's say, for example, you're saying that I will have to pay with card. Now, let's say I don't have an option now. Now, I don't have a choice. I will now have to, let's say I'm going to use Kemi. Kemi as my user we now have to call Musa. Musa, oh, please, I want to order food. This app does not collect bank transfer. They said it's card. Please, I need your card information. I'm going to send you 2,000. I'm going to send you maybe, for example, 1,000 naira or 4,300 naira to your account. Please send me your card details. It's a long process. I will now have to call Musa. Musa will now forward it to me. Then imagine as a new user, you've input Musa's card details. The system will now tell you we are sending OTP to that number. Something like that. I'm just giving you an instance. You can see that Kemi will now have to call Musa. Musa, oh, they send OTP to your main line. Please send me the OTP code. You can see that the process is long. And she might just feel frustrated. Maybe at the process when she's trying to connect Musa, and Musa line is not going, and she doesn't have any other person she needs to call. And let's say, for example, Kemi is in Abuja, Musa is in Sokoto. You can see the long distance. It's a long process. Okay, then what opportunities I want to give her? Opportunities I want to give her is transparent pricing and quick checkout. She don't need to frustrate because she doesn't have a card. Doesn't mean that she's going to go through long process. All she just have to do is just select bank transfer, transfer money to the account generated, and then get your food. Or let's say transparent pricing. Now let's talk about this extra fee. Let's say her food is 2,800. Her food is 2,800. Then her delivery fee is, she has input her billing details, and her delivery fee is 1,500, which is now 4,300. And now you're adding 200 naira as charge, or maybe I don't know. I'm just calling it like a charge. I will feel frustrated after going through this long process. They're telling me I need to make payment for this charge, or maybe VAT, or maybe something like that. Maybe any grammar that the app might call it. But the opportunity I need to improve, I just need to make the thing to be very clear, transparent pricing. If you're paying for app, if you're paying for VAT, no problem. If you're paying for charges, no problem. Just make the pricing to be transparent and something that the user will say, okay, no problem, it's fine, as long as the pricings are well detailed. And then the checkout should be very, very quick. Now let's go to the fourth one. Now another action or another steps we have is receiving, and the action Kemi is going to take is getting our food hot and on time. Now what is her goal? Her goal and expectation is to get the delivery. How does she feel? Happy. What are the pain points she is experiencing? Delivering takes too long. Something like the app is telling me 15 minutes. At the end of the day, I am getting my food in 45 minutes. But what are the opportunities that we need to do or improve on that app is to create or offer real-time tracking. Now, once she make her payment and she will just receive a notification and said, we have received your payment. If you use child deck, there's this thing that child deck normally do that I love so much. That is one of the reasons one time I just intentionally ordered food for like 3 days straight up, because I love that experience. It was so nice. After I made a payment, what child deck did was they showed me something like Jumia 2 does that. They'll show you something like read track users that has a dot. It's like a long line like this. The first one you will see is restaurants has received your order. Next one you will see is when they've received your order. The next thing you will see, you just be monitoring. You will just see it. You just be moving. The next thing you will see is you will see we are processing your, okay, first one is restaurants have received your order. We're processing your food, something like that. Then the next one is we've sent your food to the delivery. Before you move to the next one, you will see that you receive a phone call where a dispatch rider will call you. Oh, am I talking to Kemi? Kemi, where because you've already put your billing details. The next thing the rider is going to ask you, where in, maybe for example, Colimia's place you are staying in Rumudara, Port Harcourt, and then you say, oh, behind this also Anglican church. You get, then before you know, by the time you end the call and go back to the app, you will see that it has already moved to your rider is on his way. Then it will not show you one information and tell you, don't share this code to anybody, just give it to the rider. And then it will move to then it will not track your rider. You cannot be able to track where the rider is, like something like a map where you get to track the rider, or if the rider is actually still far from my location, or if the rider is actually close to me. And then you see, it's just like you're offering a real-time tracking, so that as a user, I should be able to track my food. You get, because I don't want the delivery, I don't want Kemi's food to be cold when she arrived, because the delivery took so long. You can tell this is how a user journey map is. It's just like you are holding the user by their hands. So let's say you're holding them by their hands, allowing them to take every actions, seeing their expectation, understand their feeling, understand their pain points, and then convert pain points into opportunities that you will improve for them. That is what a user journey map looks like. So this is a simple user journey map. This is what it looks like. Sometimes you can switch this place at the top here and move these guys here. Whichever way you want to do it, no problem. But just have it at the back of your mind that a user journey map has the user step, user action, goals and expectations, feelings, pain points, and opportunities. Now, there are steps depending the kind of project you are working on. So you will know the kind of steps you are using. But for this class, we are using food because food is like a common thing, and it can easily, if you understand food, you can easily blend in the understanding for other projects. So do we have questions on user journey map before we switch to flowcharts? Are you guys with me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So let's continue with flowcharts. So what is flowcharts? So I want to ask a question. What is flowchart? Who can explain flowchart in the way you understand it? So let me give the floor to you guys. What is flowchart? What do you understand by flowchart? Or what do you think flowchart does? Like, let me get a brief understanding of what flowchart is all about.
Okay, coach. Okay, my own understanding, I think a flowchart is like a diagram, a tree-like diagram. When I say tree-like, it has branches. So it kind of takes you on a journey from start to finish, like from the beginning of something, and then links you down towards the end. So I think that's what a flowchart does, kind of guides you. Sometimes the flowchart can be in form of hierarchy, maybe from the highest ranking to the least, that kind of, or it can just show you the different steps or branches attached to a particular thing, maybe father, mother, children, like that. So I think that's what the flowchart does, kind of guides you through something, a journey, takes you through from the beginning and then brings you to the end of it. So I think that's what the flowchart looks like, and that's what it does.
Thank you. Another person should tell me, what is a flowchart? Like flowchart. What does it mean? From the images.
I believe for me, my own understanding is a flowchart is a pictorial or visual representation of a decision-making process.
Okay. Another person.
Yeah, ma.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, from my own understanding, I see flowchart as a diagrammatic representation of how somebody is moving from point A to B, as well as the steps in between the journey.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about flowchart. What is flowchart? So you can call it user flows, you can call it UX flow, or you can call it flowchart, as they sometimes call it. It's like a map a user takes when using a product. So let me bring it down to our understanding. A flowchart is like a roadmap a user takes when navigating through your product. We have the food app. Now, a flowchart is a roadmap your user or a user take when using food application. App is just like the shortcut of application. A food app, be it website, be it web app, or be it mobile app. Just a roadmap that shows, it's just a complete roadmap from the beginning to the end. But in this time around, it is in a form of diagram. The user flow lays out the user movement through the product, mapping out each and every step the user takes, from entering points right through the final interaction. Flowcharts are variable tools in UX design for visually mapping out the user journey through a digital product or system. They help designers and stakeholders understand the sequence of steps a user will take to accomplish a task or reach a goal. In UX design, designers use flowcharts mainly to plot how users move through an interface, such as an app, to achieve their goals. For example, paying for clothes online, paying for your food online, and getting delivered to your doorstep. They describe the relationship between pages and screen, or pages or screen, anyone you can call it. You can call it pages, you can call it screen, no problem. And shows all the interactive possibility from the start points, actions required, moment of decision, and endpoint as users encounter and use interfaces. What this means is, from the starting point of that visual or diagram roadmap, it shows that what are the actions that your user will need to take. For example, the actions I need to take is, I need to sign up on this particular app, which is an action. Is my sign up complete? Yes, it's complete. Go forward. And it's complete and it's correct. Go forward. Move to the next stage. But if it is not complete or it is not correct, there's no way I'm going to, complete that action. I will have to input the right information before that action will be completed. Moment of decision. For example, the checking method. Decision. Am I making payments with card or bank transfer? And then the endpoint, down to tracking your food or tracking the delivering guy. They also aim to account for various factors that impact users' interaction. Since flowcharts are highly visual, they are variable reference points throughout the project. Why is user flow important? Why do we use flowcharts? Why do we use flowcharts? Flowcharts are essentials in UX, and they offer a systematic approach to mapping out users' interaction and experience within a digital product. By visually representing the user flow, designers can gain insight into the user's journey, including their action, decision, and potential pain points. Now, we've talked about the user journey mapping, and you've actually understand their actions, the step they're going to take, which is the important part of your project. Now, the second one is the actions. The next one is their goals and expectation. The next one is their feelings. The next one is their pain points. And then the last one is the opportunity that you can improve on. Now, apart from this pain point that you've understand your user, you cannot look at this journey map and then implement a flowchart for them. As a user, what are the goals? They should be able to search for restaurants online. If I open Kemi Food app, I should be able to just go and look for restaurants online, not seeing everything scattered on the home page. Now, if I go to search everything online, remember her pain point is too many options and she doesn't know what she's going to pick. Now you can see that the goals I want to implement is add a filter or recommendation. For example, she comes on that app, the first thing she's going to see is search top restaurants or most popular restaurants, and then she click on it. She should be able to pick a meal, read the description, see the review, see rating before she can add to cart. And when she adds to cart, in the process of checking out, they should be able the payment, the pricing or the payment should be clear enough, and she should be able to make her payment using bank transfer or card method. And once she has made her payment, the next thing she's going to see, the flow for her to track the order should be clear. She should be able to see when she should be able to see real-time tracking when the restaurant has handed over her meat to the delivery guy. She should be able to see the delivery guy is on his way to you. She should be able to see that this food has been handed over to you, and she should be able to see that this meal has been completed. The tracking system has been completed. Immediately she gets the food and she has released the code to the rider. I'm just giving you a child example. You get. Moreover, flowchart serves as a variable communication tool, facilitating collaboration and align among cross-functional teams by providing a shared understanding of the intended flowchart and interactions. This collaborative approach ensures that designer decisions are informed and that the final product meets the needs and expectations of its users effectively. Overall, the use of flowcharts in UX design promotes collaboration by providing a shared visual language that empowers teams to work together towards creating a good user experience. Now, you are working in a team of product manager, developers, back and front end developers, you as a designer, and you're working with every other person. Now, flowchart is like a collaboration. It's like a tool, a language where you get to say, this is what we did on the user journey map. These are the insights we gather from the user research. You get the quantitative and qualitative analysis. Those are the pain points and goals of our user, the empathy map. Now, all those things, when you gather all of them, you cannot be able to, implement those goals in form of a diagram for your users. Because at the end of the day, now your focus is not all about their pain points. Your focus is all about the goals that you want to achieve for your user. A user will not come and tell you, I'm experiencing this thing with this product, and you want to repeat that same thing that your user is experiencing. No user wants to go through fire 2 times. I'm feeling frustrated using this app, and you're building something related to this app, and you're implementing the same pain point I'm experiencing there. I won't use the app. It's better I remain in this one. You get? So that is the essence of flowcharts. It's like a visual language, a diagram language between you and everyone on a team. Now, we have different types of flowcharts. I believe you've seen this kind of flowchart. You've seen this one. You've seen this one. Now, let's talk about different types of flowcharts. UX flow, flowchart, anyone you want to call it, is okay. You can call it user flow, no problem. UX flow can be used for all kinds of interface and web design, but certainly types of flowcharts are more variable than others depending on what you are creating. Here we describe a few of user flow variables and when to use them. The first one we have is task flow. What is task flow? A task flow focuses on one single feature or task a user can perform without showing other parts. For example, every user, this is it. Now you're trying to complete a task. This is like the same point, the same direction that every user is going to pass through. For example, let's use clothes, for example. I want to order clothes. I will look at this product overview. I will select a size. I will pay now. I will check out. I'll click on add to cart. I will check out. I'll put my information system and then get my order. That is the single point, the single task everybody is going to follow. This is a task flow. So a task flow is like a single feature or a single task that a user is going to perform without showing other pathway. It's like a single point everybody is going to follow. It's like a road everybody is going to follow. For people that are based in Port Harcourt, let's say, for example, I want to go to Obibo Junction. You can go to Obibo Junction now from Eleme Junction. It's just a straight road. Like, this is one thing that everybody is going to do. You will enter bus. They will follow this road. You will pay. And then you come down. It's like a single task everybody is going to follow. Now, let's come down to food app. For food app, you select your food. Sorry, you search for jollof rice. Let me not use jollof rice. You search for food. You select number of plates. You add to cart. You click on checkout. You add your information, your shipping information. You make payments, and your food is delivered to you. This is like a single flow, a single path that every designer is going to flow. Now, the next one we have is wire flow. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. It's funny how I will just have network issue. The next thing is you put your bombard message on the group. Easy. Okay, so we are talking about wire flow. So I said wire flow, I might not go into details for wire flow because it's going to take us off, and wire flow is just going to come in our next class, because next topic we're going to work on is the wire framing. So if you don't understand what wire frame is all about, you might not get what wire flow is all about. Now, wire flow, as the name suggests, is like a combination of wire frame and flow charts. And instead of using shapes to convey movements, they use wire frames of each page. Now, wire flow add page contents to UX flow since what users see on each screen. Now, let me use an image and explain it for you guys. That's why I said I'm not going to go deep inside, because it's like going to come in our next class. Now, this is what a wireframe looks like. So what I normally tell my students or everybody, a newbie, I'll tell them wire flow is like the skeleton design. It's like, let's use ourselves as example. Human being, your fine body, your fine skin color, your nice nails. I'm not talking about the artificial, I'm talking of the natural. Your nice hair, your shape of head, your long neck, your short neck, your shape of body. Those are the beauty of yourself. But now the skeleton part is like the wireframe parts of your body is the skeleton, the bone. Because the way the bone, your skull, the shape of your skull will determine the shape of your head. The shape of your skeleton will determine the shape of your body. So that is what, if we come to, if we come back to the design wall, you see that this image you are seeing on my screen is the skeleton part of your UI design. You get? Now let's move to the wire flow part of it. Now, wire flow is all about the skeleton part of your design you are seeing. The action that is going to take you from one screen to another. For example, now the first screen we have is now this is like a purchase part. Now, if I move my cursor now, this is for a clothes something. And let's see, this box here are standing like images. Now I've selected this hoodie for myself. I'm a size 10 person. I will select medium. Then when I select medium, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add to cart. So once I click to add to cart, it will now take me to this screen. Now it will now show that this is already empty, but because of add to cart, it's now showing me +1, and then it will now show this pop-up here. So once you show this pop-up here, I'm now going to click on checkout. So once I click on checkout, this is the screen where it's going to take me to. So once it takes me to this screen, what is the next thing I'm going to do? Do I want to buy for maybe my twin? Or I want to buy for my partner? Or I want to buy for another person? Then I can now choose to make it 1 or 2 quantity. But in this aspect, I'm just buying for myself. And now when I buy for myself, the next thing I'm going to do is now it will show me subtotal, number, and every other information I need. I'm going to click on checkout. So once I click on checkout, this is where it's going to take me to. Now if I put all this information, I will now click on continue shipping, like ship the clothes to me. Now you can see that this diagram shows wire flow. So this is like a wire flow. It's like a combination of wireframe and flow charts. You remove the chart from the flow, you remove the frame from the wireframe, and you bring the wire and flow and join it together. It's like a combination that tells you a connection, like a roadmap from screen 1 to screen 2 to screen 3 to screen 4. Okay, so we're going to go deep into this part in our next class next week. We're going to go deep into it because this falls under the topic of wireframing. Okay, so but just have it in the mind that when they say different types of flow charts, the first one is task flow. Task flow focuses on one single feature that all user is going to go through. One particular feature, like it's one task that all your users are going to pass through. For example, I'm using food app. For example, they are going to search for a restaurant, select food from restaurants, pay for the food, and get it delivered. If you want to use purchasing of clothes, you say, look at the food. Look at the product. Select the size, add to cart, check out, and get it ordered. So task flow is like a single flow that all your users is going to pass through. While the wireframe is like a combination of wireframe and flowchart, but this time around they work on only pages, like from page 1 to page 2 to page 3 to page 4. It's just a connection from one page to another. Let's put it that way. It's like a connection. It's like a flow from one wireframe screen to the next one. So we're going to go deep into this one in the next class. Then the last one we have, which is the main one, is the user flow. Now the user flow is the map or analyze and map how user will interact with your product as a whole. Like how they are going to interact with your product as a whole, including the wire flow, including the task flow as a whole. They are the same end goals, but user flow charts create different paths and journey to accomplish these goals and help identify ways of a user completion. Now, for example, this is an example for it. Now, we have the start, search for a product, select the product. Are they going to buy it? This is like a decision. Are they going to buy it? Yes. Are they not going to buy it? No. Now, let me explain this decision. Now, if you remember, we'll talk about flowchart when I said it involves the decision. For example, I want to buy. I'm not going to. Okay, let me use food. We are using food all throughout this teaching, so it will be easy for us. Now, let's say, let me use Kemi for example. Kemi does have money. Okay, Kemi is just randomly. Somebody recommended this food app to her, and she has been longing to try out this sushi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well. Sushi. So, and this food app sells sushi and they deliver it to your doorstep. But at that moment, she doesn't have money. So she's just going to go through it, read the description, and then she's going to say, I will try out one plate. But remember, she doesn't have money. Now the decision is she going to buy it now? The answer to her own decision is no. So automatically she's just going to add it to cart and then she'll close the app. Or she continue feeding her eyes to say, oh, I'm seeing this burger. I would love to try this burger. I would love to try this particular taste of pizza, this particular thing. And she just adding it to cart because that moment she doesn't have money to buy it. Now let's use Musa. Musa is another user that have money. And Musa too wants to try this sushi. So Musa come to the app, select the product, search for sushi, or search for a restaurant that sells sushi, read the description, select the product. Now for Musa's decision, is he going to buy it? Now for Musa's decision is yes, he's going to buy it. He's going to click on, maybe on your screen you have a design that says buy now or add to cart. If you use AliExpress has that feature where they'll tell you, are you buying now or you're adding to cart? I love, like, that is a good user experience. Like, that is a very good user experience. Now for Kemi, her own is just add to cart. But for Musa, his own is buy now. And once he click on buy now, automatically it takes him to the checkout page. Now for the checkout page, is Musa going to pay cash on delivery or payment on the app? If it doesn't, if he's going to do cash on delivery, automatically he's going to place the order. But if he's not going to do cash on delivery, he will have to input his card details or make bank transfer. Once he's done with bank transfer or or maybe card payment, it's going to now take him back to this payment screen and then place this order, process in warehouse, then ship the product. So if this person let's say Musa is paying with card payment. Once the food has been delivered to the doorstep, then that is where the delivery man will say, let me have your money. For people that use Jumia, pay on delivery. You understand what I'm saying? They'll tell you to sign. When you sign, they will not tell you, transfer the money to so account. When you transfer the money to so account, they'll call, Musa transfer 4,000 to this account. Our people will receive it. Yes, we'll receive it. We will not end the call. The delivery guy will not give Musa the sushi. Now let's say Kemi finally have the money and Kemi wants to pay for the food. All she have to do, the food is already saved on her cart. All she has to check is just to check if this food is not out of stock, for example, or let's say the food is not longer available or the food is available. That is already going to be written on the cart. So if this food is available, all she just have to do is just to click if she's going to pay on cash or card or bank transfer. Kemi doesn't have any cash at home, so automatically she's going to pay with bank transfer, and then she have done her bank transfer and everything. It goes to placing the order, processing the food, and then the delivery man will just bring the food and say, Kemi, I'm at your estate gate, come and collect your food. All she just have to do is just to sign, and then her food will be given to her because she has already made payment on the platform. So for user flow, which is like the Oga Patapata of it all, is like the flow, the roadmap of how your user is, like, is the map of how your user is going to interact with it as a whole, nothing like a single task, like as a whole, including all the goals that you want your user to accomplish. And now I'm using this diagram as an example for you. Now we have flowchart symbols. I know you'll be seeing, why is this one like this? 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 Now let's talk about the symbols. Now the first one, are you guys with me before I continue?
Yes, ma.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we see what everything sounding like wire.
Don't worry, you understand. So small. So let's talk about the symbols. So for the symbols, we have terminators, we have flow line, we have input and output, we have process, we have decision. Now this is what it looks like. Now you will see that this one is like this. Now this terminator means it marks as the start or end. Now you can see that start is like this, end is like this. It's like it stands as the end of your flow. Sorry, the start of your flow and the end of your flow. So that is what it stands for. So when imagine somebody that tell you, oh, I want you to design create a flow chart, you can see that if you understand these 5 symbols, automatically you're going to create a very good flow chart. Now you create for terminator, which is like once you use this one, automatically showing that you are starting your process. Then for this flow line is like a connection between this to this, this to this, this to this, like one process to another, which is like this. Now you can see that this is connecting to this. You write whatever you want to write, you move to this. You write whatever you want to write, you move to this. Write whatever you want to write, you move to this. Now you can see that from start, search the product, select the product. This is like a decision. A decision will now come, now ask you, do you want to buy it now? Yes. Is it cash on delivery? No. You go here. Is cash on delivery? Yes. You continue like this. Let's go back to this one. Are you buying it? No. So you can see that Kemi process end here. But Musa process continue like this. Now in this Musa's process, now we have Musa. Now we have 3. Let me use example now. We have 3 users now. The first user is Kemi. The second user is Musa. And the last user is Esther. Now Kemi doesn't have money, but she's willing to try sushi. And then she will just add to cart and then she'll close the app. You can see that her flow end here. But we have Musa and Esther. Now Musa is going to pay cash on delivery, which will now come this way and end here. But now we have Esther. Esther doesn't have cash, but she's going to pay with her bank account. And then you can see that her flow goes like this, comes like this, back to this place. And then she click here, come to this place, and then she's done here. You can see that this is where Esther's flow end. This is where Kemi's flow end. And this is where Musa flow end. You can give it whatever, the color doesn't matter, but the shape, like the symbols, matter a lot. So that is why we have this one as start and end. We have this one like a connection. It's just like a line, direction between this first symbol and the second symbol. Then we have this one, input and output. So what this one means, it stands like, let's go, okay, they didn't use it here. But what this one means is whatever screens that I'm going to type information, I'm going to use this one. For example, the sign up screen. This is how my sign up screen is going to look like. The login, as long as I'm going to type something on that screen, this is how it's going to look like. Billing, your billing screen where you have to put your name, your phone number, the address, those things that will determine your delivering fee. This is how the screen is going to look like. Then we have the next one, which is the process. Now this process, you're not typing anything. It's just like a process that is standing between this and this. For example, now, like search for a product. It's like a process screen. You're not typing anything. Select the product. You just tap. You're not typing, and there's a difference between tapping and typing. Tapping is just something that you just need to click once, bam, and you go. But typing, which is the output and input, is something that you're going to type for a long. For example, your sign up, your first name, email, boboti, you get to the last. Then that is what a process, for example, is like your home page, your add to cart page, your checkout, your real-time delivery is something that you're not typing. It's just there for you. Then the next one we have is decision symbol. Now the decision is standing between, do I have to do this action or take this action? Yes, it's a yes or no thing. It's just like now this one is, are you going to pay for it? Yes, you continue. I'm not going to pay for it. You add to cart. Do I have a card? Yes, I have a card. Continue. Yeah, input the card information. I don't have a card. No. Or yeah, go through bank transfer. It's just like a decision that is telling you yes and no. A decision that is telling you yes and no. These are the 5 symbols that you're going to use to create your flow charts. These are the 5. These are how the shape look like. This one is for start and finish. This one is for connection. I used to call it connection between the first shape and the second shape. We have the next one, which is the input and output. Input and output means something that you're going to, for example, your sign up screen, your billing screens. The process is just like a process screen. For example, your home page, you're not typing anything on your home page. Your reading description or full description, you're not typing anything. It's just there for you. Then the next one is decision. Decision is just standing in as a 2-part something, yes or no. If it's yes, continue. If it's no, oh yeah, go back or do this. It's just a yes or no thing. Now, what is the difference between user journey map and flowcharts? Now, I create them in a table so that it will be very easy for us to understand. Now, the difference between a flowchart and user journey map, both are used in the UX design to visualize processes, but they serve a different purpose and focus on different aspects of the user experience. Now, what are the aspects? For aspects, we have the purpose, we have focus, we have representation, we have emphasis, and we have use case. Now, for the flowcharts, for the purpose of flowcharts is it shows the logical steps or decision in a process. But for user journey, it visualize a user experience with a product. You just visualize that user experience, how a user is going to, visualize, that experience for your user, for user journey map. But for flowchart, it's like a step or decision in a process. Now, for the focus, for the aspect of focus for user flow and user journey map is structure and decision making. But for user journey map, their focus is just user emotions, actions, and pain points. That is the focus. For this one, for flowchart, is like the structure and decision making. Structure of how the app is going to, navigate like. But for user journey, the focus is just how does user feel, what are their emotions, what are the actions they need to take, what are the pain points. For representation, we have using standardized symbols. Now, for flowchart, it's like a symbol where we have the rectangle, we have the diamond for the decision. But their representation for user journey map is just the stages, the actions, emotions, the opportunities, the user personas. That is how it looks like, the representation, which I just showed you. Now, if you check these two, you see that their representation is actually different. Now, for the emphasis, we have process, efficiency, and logic. But for user journey map, we have user behavior, thoughts, and feeling. For use case, now in the use case of user flowchart, so it is like designing the system workflow app navigation, just like a navigation of your app, how user is going to navigate to using your app. But for user journey map, it's just understanding your user's interaction with that product, with food app, and how you can improve their experience. That's the difference between flowchart and user journey map. You can call it user journey mapping or map, anyone. You can call it UX flow, you can call it user flow, you can call it user flowchart, anyone. Now, these are the two differences between these two. Now, the key difference between these two is a flowchart focuses on the step-by-step structure of a process, but a user journey map focuses on the user's emotion, experience, pain points throughout the interaction with a product. Both are very important though. They are very, very important. They are very, very important. Flowcharts help identify the logic behind the interactions, while user journey maps ensure the experience is user-friendly and emotionally engaging. So now you can see the difference between flowcharts and user journey map. But in the aspect, in the real sense, user journey map comes before flowchart. After flowchart, we have wireframe. Then we'll talk about why wireframe is important, different kinds of wireframe, and then I will show you the different kinds. We have the low low fidelity, and a high fidelity. We're going to talk about that one in our next class, and then we'll carry out the diagram. Remember the next day is always our practical classes. So you can ask your question now. So ask your question.